You know the drill. When we think of the 1%, we think of the noise. We think of the neon lights of the Las Vegas Strip, the towering glass needles of Dubai, or the $100 million penthouses in Manhattan, where the windows are basically giant billboards for ego. That's where the nouveau riche go. The people who just got their first big payout and want the world to know they've arrived. But there's a different level of wealth. A tier so high that it doesn't even have a name. At that level, fame isn't an asset, it's a liability. To these people, the greatest luxury on earth isn't a gold-plated Gulfstream or a private island in the Caribbean. It's silence. It's the ability to walk down a public street and be absolutely, fundamentally invisible. For 3 months, I've been obsessing over flight data. I wasn't looking at commercial routes. I was tracking the ghost tails, private aircraft registered to shell companies in Delaware and the Cayman Islands. They weren't heading to Aspen. They weren't heading to the Hamptons. They all kept converging on a single nondescript dot on the map, a place where the average house doesn't have a gate, but the neighbors all happen to be former intelligence officers. I'm here now, and I think I've found it. This isn't just a wealthy town. This is the exit door for the people who own the world. Welcome to the city where billionaires go to disappear. On the surface, this place looks like a postcard from a forgotten era of America. It's charming. It's quiet. There are no paparazzi here. No red carpets. No influencers doing TikTok dances in front of luxury storefronts. In fact, if you walked through the main street, you'd think the local economy was built on artisanal sourdough and fly fishing. But look closer. Notice the things that aren't there. There are no Ferraris, no Lamborghinis. In this town, driving a car that screams, "Look at me," is considered incredibly low class. It's stealth wealth taken to its logical extreme. Power here is measured by how much of a nobody you can be. If you see a guy in a beat-up 2012 Subaru Outback wearing a $15 baseball cap, there's a 40% chance he's the CEO of a company that controls your data, your debt, or your diet. This town operates on a social contract that doesn't exist anywhere else. The locals? They aren't impressed by your money. Most of them have been on the payroll of these ghosts for generations. They are the gardeners, the mechanics, the pilots, and the housekeepers who keep the machine running. They know exactly who is living behind that modest-looking ranch fence, and they will never, ever tell you. In this town, a secret isn't a burden. It's the local currency. My journey into this rabbit hole started with a dry cleaning receipt and a very nervous source. I met a guy I'll call Miller. He spent 12 years in the State Department before moving into the private sector. Now, he's what's known as a lifestyle manager for the ultra-high net worth. That's just a fancy way of saying he's a professional ghost maker. You have to understand the psychology, man. These guys have spent 30 years being the smartest person in every room. They've had targets on their backs since the day they went public. They're tired of the performance. They're tired of the security detail breathing down their necks every time they want a burger. They come here because they want to feel the wind on their face without a bodyguard checking the perimeter first. We provide the illusion of a normal life. And for that illusion, they'll pay anything. Miller told me about a client who spent $4 million just to have a local road diverted by half a mile, purely so his modest cabin wouldn't be visible from the main trailhead. Not because he was doing anything illegal, but because he just wanted to drink his coffee on the porch without being a brand. Let's talk about the billionaire infrastructure. It's hidden in plain sight. If you look at the building permits in this county, you'll see something strange. Houses that are listed as 3,000 square feet, but have basement excavations that take 2 years to complete. These aren't basements. They're subterranean fortresses. While the top floor looks like a cozy rustic mountain home, all reclaimed wood and stone fireplaces, the world beneath is different. We're talking medical-grade surgical suites, independent power grids, and server rooms that could run a small country. Why? Because these people are the ultimate preppers. But they're not prepping with canned beans and shotguns. They're prepping with concierge doctors who are on a $500,000 annual retainer to live within a 10-minute radius. They're prepping with private security firms that have better drone tech than the local police department. And then there's the commercial side. You won't find a Louis Vuitton store here, but you will find a nondescript office building that houses a family office managing $40 billion. You'll find a grocery store that looks normal, but stocks $400 bottles of wine and organic produce flown in daily from a private farm in California, tucked away in the back where the tourists don't look. Everything is designed to serve a lifestyle that doesn't officially exist. But as I stayed longer, the cozy vibes started to feel heavy. There's a tension in the air when you realize just how much power is concentrated in such a small zip code. I started noticing the gardeners. You'll see them in green work shirts, trimming hedges or fixing fences. But look at their posture. Look at the way they scan a crowd. These aren't guys who spent their lives studying horticulture. They're former special forces, Mossad, or MI6. They are passive security. They are everywhere, and they are watching you long before you ever see them. And then, there's the digital shadow. My phone started acting up. My GPS would drift by 300 meters whenever I got close to certain estates. I'm talking about signal jammers and localized EMP shielding. If you try to fly a hobbyist drone in certain parts of this valley, it won't just lose signal. It will literally drop out of the sky. These people haven't just disappeared from the social world. They've created a black hole in the digital one too. It makes you wonder, what are they so afraid of? Is it the fans? The tax man? Or is it us? On my last day, I think I finally saw one. A man whose face has been on the cover of Forbes half a dozen times. A man who, in the real world, is a titan, a disruptor, a god of the tech industry. He was sitting on a weathered wooden bench by the lake, eating a sandwich out of a brown paper bag. No suit, no tie, just a guy watching the ducks. I had this impulse to walk up to him, to pull out my mic and ask, why this? Why here? You have the resources to live in a palace on the moon, so why are you sitting in a dusty town in the middle of nowhere eating a lukewarm turkey sub? But as I watched him, I realized he looked human. For the first time in his life, he wasn't a brand. He wasn't a visionary. He was just a guy. And in that moment, I understood the price of that sandwich. It wasn't the $5 he paid at the deli. It was the hundreds of millions he spent to build a world where he could eat it in peace. I didn't approach him. I didn't even take a clear photo. Because if I did, I'd be the one breaking the spell. I'd be the reason he'd have to pack up and find a new nowhere. We live in a world that's obsessed with being seen. We're taught that if you didn't post it, it didn't happen. That influence is the only real currency. We spend our lives building digital monuments to ourselves, hoping someone somewhere is paying attention. But the people at the very top, they've figured out the secret. They've realized that being someone is a trap. I'm leaving this city now, and no, I'm not going to give you the GPS coordinates, not because I'm trying to be mysterious, but because honestly, this town isn't for us. It's a sanctuary for the ghosts of the old world. Maybe the ultimate goal of success isn't to have everyone know your name. Maybe the ultimate flex, the final boss level of wealth, is being so powerful that you can finally afford to be a nobody.